Hey everyone, Kevin Ross here, your co-host at RNFM Radio and also over at Innovative Nurse. Now, today I wanted to talk to the community about something that is fairly serious, and that is addiction. Well, why? Well, over at the Nurse Blog Carnival, hosted this month, March 2014, over at Annette Tersini site. You know Annette Tersini, right? The yoga nurse? Link will be below. Anyway, we wanted to talk to our communities about addiction. And I know top of mind you think addiction, well, drugs and alcohol. Well, sure, and it's certainly something that needs our attention and our support. But I also wanted to talk to you about technology because, I am a professed geek, nerd, tech evangelist, or what have you. However you want to label me, I love technology. But am I addicted to it? Are you addicted to it? Is it actually a hindrance to my day-to-day? Is it causing me physical or emotional distress? Well, possibly. There's certainly that camp out there that thinks so. And then there's also the other camp out there, the one over there that I'm well entrenched in. Anyway, that I really am very much a part of technology and what it can do for me in my business and in my personal life. And so I love technology, and through the years, I've learned how to use it in a way that helps give me some balance. And I want to share that with you as well, because I don't want to just talk about the doom and gloom of what technology has been doing to us, but at least share with you some pro tips and tricks that will help you maximize your day. And speaking of maximizing our day, there's 24 hours in each day. We can't get any more than that. I've been guilty of asking for more time. Where's the time gone? I need more time. But we also need to maximize that time and minimize the distractions. Speaking of which, let's say over here on this computer that I'm doing some work for a client, a project, and I'm focused on that, but then my phone dings or beeps or whatever, the smartphone, the cell phone, which is actually really a portable device, a portable computing device. It's more powerful than some of the first computers that I ever owned. This thing can do a lot of things, but I don't want to talk about tech specs here. Anyway, if I get on this device because it's beeping at me or blinking or whatever, and I pull myself away from something that I'm working on, and I'm getting so involved. Oh, wait a minute. No, she didn't. Like that. Wait. Distractions. That's what I mean. Distractions. I could ultimately spend 5, 10, or 20, or maybe even longer, 30 minutes over here on this device that I just pulled away from this project that I'm working on. Now you might think, no. It's just a quick tweet, it's a quick like, it's a quick share or something. But what I have to do is when I put this device down, I have to refocus my energies over here on this project. So again, that can turn into 10, 20 minutes of, time lost. Try multiplying that by, say, 10. You do that 10 times a day, you get distracted, you look at your phone all the time or a device that you need to look at and it pulls you away from what you're doing. Well, you just lost maybe an hour or 2 hours in that day. 2 hours that you could have back to do the project or finish that project that you're working on, and to also, even on a personal level, engage with those relationships that you've been neglecting. So, speaking of, distractions and communicating, are we over communicating? Are we saying things that we wouldn't normally say to people that are right in front of us? Well, here's the thing. We have put ourselves behind this technological veil. And so we might be actually saying things to people that we wouldn't normally say if they were standing in front of us. And here's the thing. If I were to say that same thing to someone who's standing in front of me, they might get offended, and I might see that body language like, oh, maybe I need to back off. But with social media, that can be very challenging, and because there can be a big disconnect there. And they might share that conversation with maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 people. Social media, like button, reshare, repost this, put it out here, circle that, whatever. And the next thing you know, your conversation just got put out there everywhere, all over the interwebs. So when you're having a conversation with people, make sure it's something that you would share with them if they were standing in front of you. So, and speaking of sharing and communicating, communication is awesome. Social media can be really great because you know what? I need to have access to you because I really want to talk to you. I want to have, build a community with you and engage. But you're not outside of my window. You're right here with me here on social media. And so having access to that is pretty cool. Take this shirt, for instance. This actually was crowdsourced. It was on social media. A tweet went out. Threadless, I got this shirt. I paid for it. The proceeds actually went to measles vaccinations for kiddos in a third world country. So pretty cool communication. But is the communication hurting me in the sense as in the sense that am I having lack of communication with the people that are around me that are actually in my physical presence? Potentially. Lucky for you and lucky for me, I actually like to talk to people. So whether it's talking to a camera or talking to you face to face, I love to talk. I like to engage. And of course, I do like to listen too. Now, let's take that communication example for a second here. Because we have such easy access to it and we can do status updates and check things so often, we tend to do that. But it might behoove us to help these devices make us more accountable. And how I do that is actually using Google Calendar. So I carve out time to really spend with you, the community, during the day so that I can engage with you. Because, social media is important to me and engaging with you is important, but it certainly isn't the end-all be-all of my business. Now, some businesses are very well entrenched into social media and engaging that way. That's how they make their money, and that's really their full-time business. So be it. But as an entrepreneur myself and someone who has to spread themselves a little thinner than most maybe, I don't want to splinter my efforts. I want to be able to give you my undivided attention, my expertise, my input. So by doing that, I need to carve out some time on my calendar and spend it with you on social media, just as I would schedule some time for you to actually come in my office and have a conversation to hash out whatever it is that we need to hash out. And email is a big one here. Now, people think, well, I'm carrying around this device. They sent me an email just 30 seconds ago, and then they expect me to respond within that 30 seconds. Well, guess what? On the end of that electronic is mail. It's mail. And if you really needed me to respond immediately, do you know what? These devices actually work as phones. And some people say, I don't have that kind of time to talk to you. I don't have 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or sometimes a conversation goes 20 or 30 minutes. Well, guess what? I have seen email threads that are so laden with jargon that questions are unanswered, answers are partially answered, and so many people are CC'd on that communication, and the thread just keeps getting deeper and deeper, 10, 20, or 30 in the thread. And then you're like, what in the world did we just start talking about, hours ago? You literally can spend hours on email when it could only take you just a few minutes to pick up the phone and call someone. I'm not saying you got to call everyone, but think about it. Before you send that email, is it easier for you just to say, hey, listen, I've got a few topics I need to talk to you about. Instead of sending you 5 different emails on those 5 different topics, I'm actually going to save that for, let's say, a 15 or 20 minute phone call so that we can hash out those details and then take notes wherever we need to. So again, schedule that time for your professional, your business, or for that professional time on social media or that engagement. And try not to get distracted throughout the day on that. Same thing goes for the personal. Facebook is a great place to share photos and get status updates on our friends and family. But let's say that your friend John just went to the Caribbean and you're at work. I'm at work right now in my office. Now, would I invite John into my office during the workday to, hey, come on, bring those pictures. Let's share the stories. Let's talk about the trip, and have him put all those pictures all over my desk and distract me from what it is that I'm actually doing? Because you know what? I got to make payroll. So I got to make money. I've got to be productive. So would I have John come in here and share his trip stories during the workday? Most likely not. So just because it's so easily accessible, do I need to go on Facebook in the middle of the day, in the middle of my workday, and distract myself to do a thumbs up or a comment or a share or a repost or, hey, buddy, that's awesome. Love that photo. Looks like you put on a couple of pounds, or you look great in the photos. I like that new 6-pack, whatever that is. I mean, listen, if John really likes me as a human being and as a friend, he's going to understand that I'm probably not going to be the first to comment on his photo or his story or whatever that is. I'm actually going to carve out some time for John and my other friends and family so that I can really focus on what's going on in their lives. I know it's easy to get distracted in that news feed and to watch everything go up as you scroll and scroll and scroll. But you know what? Here's the thing. It's information overload. I utilize just about every social media platform in my business and personally. However, there are some subsets of groups, some areas where you can kind of create groups within those platforms. I have to prioritize that, and so do you. Because you know what? If I splinter my efforts and I'm spread so thin, you're not really going to get my best. I'm not going to be able to provide you my best. And ultimately, you deserve my best. And so I have to get comfortable with saying no. Now, no shouldn't always be a negative. No should actually be a good thing in this sense. Because if you're looking for the best or my input, you're going to want to make sure that I'm giving you my all at that very moment. So if I say no, don't take offense to it. Take it as a way to say, you know what? Maybe no means no right now. It could be yes later. So always keep that in mind. Again, this technology can help keep you accountable for your day-to-day. It actually set to remind me to go outside, take a walk, get some vitamin D, pick up the phone and call a family member or a friend just on a break, because I know I don't want to contradict myself to say, well, during your workday, you said not to talk to your friends, but I'm just saying carve out a little bit of time for yourself throughout the day so that you can rejuvenate, re-energize, and get re-engaged on what it is that you're doing day to day. Scheduling is extremely important. Batching your work. For example, I could be building a website on this computer. I could actually be writing medical protocols on this computer. And then on another device, I could actually be working on some brand strategy or actually recording this video. Or rendering video. What I have to do is batch my work. I carve out time so that I spend this amount of time on this job and I either get it done or get it to a place where I can just say, okay, it's done enough, and then disengage from that and then focus on this. In the meantime, I'm still focused on this device in the way that I need to just check it as I need to on a couple of instances throughout the day. So I schedule like a morning check of email and social media, and then maybe an afternoon check of email, and then maybe an evening check of email and social media. Again, if you think that the email is critical or something that has to happen, pick up the phone. I like to talk to people. Anyway, technology can certainly be addictive. Technology can certainly set us up for failure. But, it can be so grand and provide us with so many things in our businesses and our personal lives. So don't forget to put these devices down every now and again. Because one thing that I will tell you, if my kiddos, my spouse, my friends, or anybody, a colleague of mine, comes up to me and wants to have a conversation, I immediately put this down. Because you know what? I don't care who you are or who you think you are. People pick up on that apparently they're not important enough to actually have a conversation, even your kiddos. I never want my kiddos to feel like I've always got my face in this device. I want to give them my undivided attention, because otherwise they're going to go out there and dig up the garden or pull the trash or break something so they can get my attention. Not really. They're actually pretty good kids. So anyway, what are you doing with your technology? Is there overuse? Do you feel fatigued? Is it really actually hurting your life more than helping it? What tips and tricks do you have to share with the community? We'd certainly love to know. And as always, here at RNFM Radio, we hope that in some way you felt uplifted and motivated for something that moves the needle for you. And certainly continue to find time for yourself and everything that you're creating and innovating with. And I certainly look forward to having you right back here with us on YouTube and, of course, our social media platforms. And again, don't forget to check out this nurse's blog carnival over at Annette Tersini, the yoga nurse. And certainly tack on here. If you're a nurse blogger, vlogger, content creator, certainly hit us up, and we'd love to have you as part of that community.